About in class, this tutorial is going to be on creating a caricature out of a already existing face that you're going to find online. So when you do go online, what I would like you to do is type in the name of the person that you're looking to do. You can also do yourself. That's not a problem. We can take that shot in the back, in the photo lab in the back. If you go to full body, when you add that little ending to anything you're looking up, then be sure, for example, in Google, you're going to go to images. Then you're going to go to tools. Once there, please go to size, larger than, and I would recommend over 2 megapixel. Then once you get to this spot where you can see these full body shots of him, what I'd like you to do is click on one. Once you've got that, you're going to go to view image. Once we have that, what we would like to do is drag that into your folder. For me, right now, I'm going to drag it onto the desktop. Okay, and then from there, I'm also going to select one face of his that is also that same high res. So I'm going to get rid of the word full body. You might be able to use the one from the original, but just in case, we're going to select one more additional piece. And it really doesn't make a difference which one you choose. I guess I'll just choose this one. And then I'm going to hit image as well. Get that one to pop up. In addition to that, I'm also going to have you look up a background that you could use. Same steps, larger than 2 megapixel. Find the image that you'd like. Click view image so the large version comes up. Drag that into your folder as well. I'm just going to drag it onto my desktop. Once you have this picture, like I said, an additional picture that comes up, you could even go higher than this, especially for the face that you're going to be working on. If you would like to do a 4 megapixel or even higher, get rid of the full body one again. This is for only the face portion. You'll get a very nice clean face to kind of work with. I'm going to use this one, is fine. And I'm going to click view image. Then from there, I'm going to drag it onto the desktop. Okay, so how are you going to do this in Photoshop? Well, if you do go online, you'll notice that there are a bunch of different caricature in Photoshop ones. I've kind of simplified the process a little bit to teach you some new tools. And so what we're going to do now is I have these three: the background, the full face, and the full body. First thing we're going to do is open up Photoshop. Once you go to Photoshop, you're going to go to File and New. Inside of there, you're going to go to a paper size, US paper. We're going to then go to letter, 8.5 inches by 11 inches, 300 RGB, and we're going to use transparent. For now, I'm going to hit OK. Once you've gone there, I want you to then first open up the image of the entire body, the full body one. Right-click, Open with Photoshop, and then pull it apart. What we need to do at this point is we need to get rid of the outside edge. The outside or background pixels. And we just want Kanye out of here, and we're going to pull him in. So you could do your selection here, or you can bring it in first and do the selection. I'm going to do it here first. I'm going to go to my quick selection tool. I'm going to try here on the edge to make a selection of the outside. And then I'm going to switch back and forth between the add and the subtract, and I'm going to subtract back out this. All right, select back out the foot. And then I'm going to try to hit the add button and get the rest of this going here. So I'm choosing to select the outside edge. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the subtraction tool and try to get the rest back out here. Pretty good job here. It's looking okay. All right, and at this point you should totally know selection, so this should not be a problem. I am then going to go to select an inverse. So now it's just grabbing him. You can see it right there. Now there might be a couple of mistakes, so before you go ahead and do anything, be sure that you're making your best selection possible. Use lassos, add to the selection, whatever you have to do to make it look right. I'm just going to kind of go around the edges, make sure we have a good clean selection here. On the edge. see there, I'm just kind of getting rid of it as much as I can. I could have done this with a different selection tool so as to avoid all these extra little things that were missed the first time. I could also go to the subtract button and subtract these pieces so that the cutouts are fully formed. That's like a little bit messed up right there. There we go, everything's looking good. Okay, this little piece here as well, just going to try to get rid of that. This is not the best cutout ever, but you get the idea. Okay, now from there I'm going to take the move tool, click, drag, and drop this out of here into the new area. From that point I'm going to do Command T. I'm going to hold Shift and Option and just kind of resize, make it a little bit smaller, bring it down there like that. And then what I would like to do is take that head, the one that was the higher resolution on this one, open that with Photoshop. Once that opens up, make a selection of just the face. So I'm going to use a different selection tool this time. I'm going to try to do quick select. Select out just the face. Just like that. That works also. Take the move tool. It's not a perfect selection, but it's pretty good. Move it over in. Once it's here, there's a little extra on the side here. Let me just get rid of that quick. Okay. And then at that point, what you're going to do now, you want the head to be the same size as the body. That's about the same size, maybe a little smaller for the head. So typically in a caricature, the head is the same size as the entire body. So that's one of the first dimensions that you want to get right. From there, we're going to stay on that layer 2. We're going to go to Filter, and then we're going to go to Liquify. Now once Liquify comes up, you're going to see a bunch of different tools on the side. The bottom here on the left-hand side, these are all tools that you can now warp, or they call it liquefy, the pixels of the face. The one I want you to try first, though, is towards the bottom here. That's one that's called Face Tool. And if you click on the Face Tool, you'll notice that as you kind of brush over things, Photoshop has now recognized the face. And it's recognized the nose, the mouth, eyes, head, all kinds of things. And from each one now, you can begin to click and pull to change the dimensions of that piece. Now, it's up to you to decide what parts of this person should be accentuated. Now, I feel like his head's kind of thick, but definitely his chin should be something that's accentuated. And then his eyes. On his eyes, you can kind of click and pull, and they happen at the same time. You can make them bigger or smaller. Now, all of these options that I'm doing here are also on the side, on this side here. You can see where it says eyes. So if I do height, you can see they start to change size. Now, I think his eyes should be kind of small, actually. You can change the tilt of the eyes. I'll keep them right about where they are. The distance between the eyes, I'm going to keep them like tight. And I'm going to keep them kind of beady like that. You can do the same thing for each thing. Nose, mouth, face shape, everything you got. Chin height. Bring the chin down. Forehead. I'm going to keep the forehead high. Jawline. Make it really high. Face width. I'm going to bring that in. There you go. Good. But you can also change them here. You can change the nose height. Nose width. So as you go through these, just kind of play with each one. Find the one that works best for you. And that's sort of the beginning of messing with the face. Now there's more tools here on Liquify. This one at the very top is a forward warp tool. You see it has a brush size. The sizes for your brush are up here. I'm going to hide the face aware Liquify for a second. There's different sizes, different densities, different rates, and you can kind of play with them. As you use them, you got to be careful. If I click and I pull a little bit, you see what happens? Now be careful. If you do it too much, it's going to do this. And that's not going to be good for anybody. So you want to just try to play with those tools as best you can, moving in little pixels one at a time. Not too much or else it'll look way too fake. All right, to get the look that you want. There are some other tools here. And you can kind of play with them. I'll show them more in class. Reconstruct will bring it back to the way that it was originally. So you can kind of brush over parts to get back the way they looked originally. Swirl will actually swirl pixels together, which could drive you nuts, so be careful about that one. The pucker and bloat tools are very popular. You can go onto anything, increase the size, and as you click, it's bringing it together. The bloat one can make it bigger. Okay, so I just played with it quite a bit. This isn't a perfect example, but you're starting to get the idea, I hope. You're going to hit OK. It's going to apply that filter to the head. And then from there, you can continue some more warps, some filters. You can change colors a little bit by using some adjustments and playing with these settings a little bit, vibrance and color balance and all that kind of stuff you can do. You can also do a little bit of dodge and burn. Dodge here, if you increase the size of the dodge tool, you can see it brightens up portions of the face. If you use the burn tool, you could now burn and darken portions of the face. For the background, you'll go back, select, open with Photoshop, the background that you've chosen. Once it's open, take the move tool, drag it to the back, pull that underneath, and then resize that based on how you want it to look, obviously. Maybe like a little runway here where he's walking the runway would be fine. Now you could do multiple characters. The body that's underneath, if there's any extra little pieces that need to get, rid of, make sure you select them, delete them, so you can see the background behind him, especially his hands. All these little areas are important, so it looks more realistic as you go. You can find other little pieces and kind of put that with them. If you do one of yourself, it's obviously going to be a little bit more interesting. Or you could do a staff member if you get the permission from them to have your picture taken, have their picture taken. All right, any questions, please see me.